welcome back. It's your girl Audrey, your income producing homemaker, your property manager with a personality, and your girl is tired, right? So I'm actually leaving the office. We are about to wrap it up and call it a night, but it has definitely, it has definitely been one of those days where it's been productive, but it's been extremely long. Had little mama today, of course. So the older that she's getting, you know, just the more colorful the work day can become. So anywho, so I just wanted to pop on. I have some time before I get back home, and I just wanted to chat with you guys for a bit. At some point I'll probably do these little car rides live. I think that'll make it fun and make it a little bit interesting. But I just wanted to chat with you guys for a little bit because I did have somebody who commented on one of my posts, which I can always appreciate the feedback. I appreciate the dialogue, and I understand that, you know, everybody will not agree with my points, agree with my perspective, and I'm super okay with that because I don't make posts for you, and I don't make posts for myself even. You know, I make posts as I feel led to make posts, and I think it's really cool to create a culture and environment where people have, you know, can have open dialogue and one may be able to agree to disagree, see different perspectives. But child, when it comes to certain stuff, my mind already made up, so it don't matter what y'all put in the comments. He ain't gonna change my mind. But I thought it was an interesting dialogue to open up. So the video that they made the comment on was a video, simple, little short, about fathers. It's necessary for fathers to be involved in their kids' lives, like their kids need them at whatever age that they are, and whether their fathers are actually in the home or not in the home, whatever the case may be, that it's important for fathers to be there. And really it was just a call to fathers to really step up to the plate and not abandon their post as fathers. I feel like that role is so important and it's so vital. But as a society, I do believe that we have diminished the role so much that our fathers are really buying into the fact that it's not necessary for them to be present. It's not necessary for them to really be there, to be involved, to have that impact. And one of the saddest conversations that I had with my own father was actually not too long ago. Before I had Avery, I actually had a miscarriage. So Avery was a rainbow baby for us, but I had a miscarriage before, and I was devastated. Of course, that was our first attempt at, you know, having children. We were newly married, and it was something where I already had a little bit of fear in my mind, I guess you could say, that maybe I wouldn't be able to have children, and you never really know. So it kind of played into all of that whenever I did have our miscarriage, and it hurt me really, really bad. And my husband, of course, was trying to figure out, okay, what can he do? You know, he knows that, of course, it impacts him, but it definitely impacts me, right? So he's trying to figure out what can he do to make it better. He still has to go to work, those sort of things. So one of the things that he did was he called my father. And my father came, and since I wasn't raised by my father, I was raised by my great-grandmother, there have been kind of different seasons with our relationship, where seasons where we talk a whole lot, and seasons where we don't, or where we didn't, and we didn't necessarily weren't that close. And at this particular time, we were coming off of one of those seasons where we just didn't talk about a whole lot. And really being because at this point, I'm an adult, I'm grown, you know, I have settled into the fact that I just do not have a plan B, you know, that I don't have a fallback, you know, like some people have, you know, if they get out here into this good old world called life, sometimes people will have a fallback where it's like, okay, I know I can go back home and reset or try again or whatever the case may be, and that just hasn't been my story. So a part of the reason is just a part of the grind and trying to just keep things going. I just didn't always have time or make time, right, for conversations and things like that with my father. And when he came after I had the miscarriage, he came and he sat down world as a woman, as a young lady, as a daughter, but you do not have the covering of a father, you have to develop this hard exterior. You have to develop, in a sense, a tough outer shell, or you would get eaten alive. It is a survival tactic, okay? It's a survival tactic, but most times, 9 out of 10, it's not something that daughters wish for or hope for or aspire for. That those aren't things that they are just trying to do. It's things that they have to do in order to survive. And it did make me sad, but it definitely opened up a conversation between my father and I of saying, no, Dad, I always need you, right? And it may look different, it may feel different, you know, the child rearing is kind of done at this point. However, my father is always a part of me. He's always a part of me. He's always, I have some of his tendencies and some of his ways. I have some of his entrepreneurial spirit. Like, that's where we get it from as his children. Like, having the spirit of just business management, like that sort of stuff coming natural to us. We get that from my father, right? So there's just certain things that I just won't be able to really understand about myself without my father, right? So anyway, so it led us into some of those conversations. And that's a part of my background that I had whenever talking at this particular point of the video, where this lady made the comment. So after making the video, she put under there like, oh, you know, that is not true. You know, it's not necessary to have fathers in the home, that a woman can do basically anything that a man can do. They can teach the children the same morals and the same values and the same principles. It's not necessary. And then they went on to say that it's not exclusive to a Y chromosome father, which makes me think that that's a whole different take of things. But I'm going to leave that part there. But I did find it quite strange that they would put it that way. And then even to just have the view that it's not necessary for a father to be involved with their children, to be there for their children, because a woman can do everything a man can do. So I really wanted to pose the question to you guys and see, is that really what our society has come to? Is that really what they think? Now again, my page, my opinion, right? And from what I see and what I observe and what I know is, I know that fathers are necessary. And I think that it is so sad that they have really believed the lie that they are not, right? And I want to pose a different way. Just consider something different for a moment. If you are of the mindset that it's not necessary to have fathers in the home, and I'm not talking about from a method of survival, I'm talking about from a method of desire, right? Because I think, especially in a Black culture, I think sometimes it becomes hurtful almost to desire to have fathers in the home, because for a lot, for more than we like to admit, that is not going to be a reality. So I think it becomes more of a defense mechanism to say fathers don't need to be in the home. But I'm not talking about from a method of survival. I'm talking about from a method of desire and from a method of order. Right? What do you guys think? So my thoughts on it, just a different consideration. For those of you especially who believe in vision boards and manifestation and believe in all of these things where if you can see it, then you can believe it type of thing. For all of you that believe in that, but then also believe that fathers are unnecessary in the home, can you just consider with me for a moment how that is even possible? And the reason why I say that, because yes, mothers have a role. Yes, mothers have, and I give kudos to any mother. Trust me, I know plenty of single mothers who make it happen every single day and make sure their children have what they need, and they sacrifice like they need to, and they do all of that. But is it possible, especially when it comes to children, because a child is either going to look like what? Their mother, their father, or a mixture of both. For the majority of the time, some part of their family, of course. And the same thing whenever it comes to their characteristics and how they act and things like that. So for all of you who believe in, if you believe it, you can see it. If you see it, then you can believe it and all that good stuff. Is it possible that a father's role has an even greater impact because a child can look at a part of themselves in the future? And of course, there's another part of this where you want to be somebody, you want to be an adult figure that the child wants to or needs to look up to. But is it possible that a child can see a part of themselves in a human being and say, oh man, yeah, if daddy can do it, I can do it. And that's something different than just a mother, or something different than just a mentor, even though everybody has their place and everybody has their role. Those who adopt, oh my goodness, what a blessing, right? But is it possible that it's a different sort of impact, it's a different sort of take when that baby, when that child, when that young adolescent can look at a part of themselves and see how correction is made, look at a part of themselves and see how achievement is celebrated, look at a part of themselves and see how growth and development takes place. I find that very, very interesting. What I also want you to consider is that even though a mother can do it, and I disagree with that statement, I really do, because I don't believe it's the mother's place. But let's just say even that a mother can do it. In my opinion, a mother shouldn't have to do it, right? And what it's really going to speak to is the quality of life as a mother does that. And I think we get so caught up in, there's one side of things where it's like, okay, all the whole feminine thing, and you know, I don't know, I can do everything a man can do, and I don't know why you would want to, but anyway, there's that whole side of things. And then there's the other side of things where it's the other side of things where it's almost like survival mode kicks in, and now you have believed the lie you have to fit into, right? And I think that's a dangerous place to be, because when you think about the quality of it, the male was made to provide, he was made to protect, he was made to do all of those things, right? And because he was built for it, whenever a manufacturer has something that they produce, that item is built for a thing. And when it's built for a thing, it is made with the capacity to fulfill it. Now, what happens when a product, an item, or whatever is used for something other than its original intent? Yes, you can have a workaround. Yes, maybe you can make it work, but it reduces the quality of the item because that was not the intention. It is the same thing when it comes to a mother trying to fulfill the role of a father. Is it possible? Yes. It's possible that they can fight through it and possibly get it done, but the quality of the process to actually get it done, the road there, the journey there, will be greatly diminished, and the quality, quite frankly, of the finished product will also be reduced. And I know people hate to hear it that way. I know. It's sad. And when you think about me, I'm not saying that the child themselves is now less of a person, but they did receive less benefits. They did. I found myself to be a striking young woman, and I am proud of the accomplishments that I've been able to make, despite not having my father, despite not having my mother, despite being raised by my great grandmother, despite having to get everything by my bootstraps. I appreciate the woman that I am because of those things. But man, did I lose the benefits of having my father in the home, by having his correction, by having his direction, by having his example there present with me. And I won't go into all of it because it definitely made this video much longer than what I intended. However, it greatly impacted me personally in several areas. It impacted me in life. It impacted me in covering when I did get outside of, my great grandmother's four walls, and I'm now experiencing what it's like to interact and to deal with men on a romantic level. Okay, it impacted me whenever it came to knowing how men think and how they operate, and when to know, when to cut ties, and when to know, this is a good one. It impacted me when I did get married and I did find the right one and I did find the guy of my dreams. It impacted me because I didn't know what male correction looked like. And when I tell you my great grandma didn't play, old school didn't play, you not finna cut up, you not finna act up in my house. Oh, it ain't going down like that. Oh, when I tell you she didn't play, she didn't play. Okay? 5 girls and 1 boy, we all got out of school. Ain't nobody come home with no babies. Ain't nobody go to jail. Ain't none of that shit. When I tell you she didn't play, she didn't play. But I still didn't know what it meant to have the correction of a man, to have the voice of a man, to have the unction and to have the instruction of a male. So when I got under the covering of my husband and now had to submit to that, that was an entirely different experience for me, and it was a rough one. There were several things that I missed out on. Several things where I lost the benefit of without having my father. Several things. But anywho, I'm going to get off my rant. And again, I want to know, what are your thoughts in the comments? You guys let me know. And if you like this video, hit the thumbs up. Go ahead and share it and subscribe. I'll see y'all on the next one.